harness, but here we go. So today I am going to break down how to create a successful business plan for 2022. Happen to be in the real estate space and the media space, but this doesn't matter if you're opening up a coffee shop, a restaurant, a custom sneaker shop, or maybe Ramon. I feel like Ramon would do a great job opening up a restaurant and I'd want to go eat there every single day. If you don't know who Ramon is, that's because you're not live on Breakfast with Champions. So we are live streaming on Breakfast with Champions and YouTube at the same time. The whole goal is to integrate the communities. Breakfast with Champions is a clubhouse community where we just get together every single Friday. We chop it up on ideas. And thank you to the Breakfast with Champions because it's making me go live every single Friday morning to talk about the different ideas and really extrapolate business and why I'm trying to do the things I'm trying to do. And it's really helped me quite a bit. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to screen share here and I'm going to walk you through a full-blown business plan. For somebody that's never done a business plan, this is going to be a little bit of a high level, and I don't want you to get stuck in the weeds. I want you to understand the very basic concepts of the plan and how you can apply it to your own business. If you've been in business for decades plus, you're going to realize that you're probably doing this without even thinking about it on a regular basis. I like doing it on a yearly basis for the different businesses that we have to make sure that I'm dialed in on where we're going. What you're looking at right here is the Grand Bend Beach. If you are on Clubhouse, just scroll to the top of the screen, click the YouTube button, and head over to the live stream. You're going to see that we do actually have beautiful beaches in Canada. So I am Justin Konikow. I own Prime Real Estate Brokerage, Prime Media Productions, and Prime Media Agency. The production company and the agency came via just a need. There really wasn't businesses that would serve my own needs for the amount of content I was trying to produce. And honestly, I didn't have the budget early on the agency side to pay the big ticket management fees and the digital strategies that I wanted to implement. So I literally learned how to make the sauce, and then I started hiring people to make the sauce with me. Now I make the sauce for other people that are like me that feel like they need a leg up. That's also what this channel is. Everything that I do here and everything that I do on my live segments on Breakfast with Champions is for the sole purpose of giving back. I've had amazing mentors in my life that have helped me when I probably didn't deserve it. So I really want to help other people kind of get to the next stages of their life. What we're going to discuss today is the entire scope of a business plan. If you've never done one before, that is your executive summary, your company analysis, your industry analysis, customer analysis, competitive analysis, a marketing plan, operations, management, and financial plan. I've got about 23 minutes to do this, so let's get right into it. The executive summary is truly the first step of any business plan, and that is where you're going to give people a concise idea of who you are, what you do, and where you do it. So I'll give you an executive summary of Prime Real Estate Brokerage. So we are aiming to be, the mission statement, the most trusted name in real estate. We do all things real estate. We're one of the only brokerages on the planet that actually does residential, commercial, investment, new development, agricultural, recreational properties, and we do it in all of Southwestern Ontario. So we cover the London market, Middlesex, Elgin, Huron, Lambton Shores, and then all of the cities within there. So in a very quick, like 30-second rundown, I'm able to tell you who we are and where we work. But what makes us unique is what I said earlier. We have the production company and we have the agency as well. I'm an agent that's in production. Typically, when you have a brokerage owner, pretty rare that they're actually out there selling houses. So this is where just giving you a full rundown of who I am and what I do is very effective, but I didn't come to that overnight. It was by sitting down and writing this out. Now, what I also want to point out while we're doing this is a moving target. I'm going to walk you through some of the evolutions that are happening with Prime right now so you can actually see it happening live over the next couple years as we develop friendships and community. How you establish what I just told you, and this is two steps. It's one, looking in the mirror of where you're at right now, and then also looking at your industry. So if you're on the Clubhouse app, we're actually doing a live stream on YouTube, and I have a slide deck up. The slide deck actually has two areas that you can fill out yourself. And looking in the mirror is the first step. So if you're not on the live, just write down, look in the mirror, and give yourself a true account of where you are today. And like I said, I'm located in Southwestern Ontario, Canada, so I'm not global by any means. But I also have to sit down and think about, why did I just even start the company? And early on in my career, I don't really know. I started the company. I just wanted to sell a house. My wife and I wanted control of our lives. And we were looking for an industry where we could just really make it our own. And I've shared this before, that I fought her tooth and nail about getting into real estate. I had the preconceived notion that everybody does about real estate agents. They don't work hard, didn't want to be a greaseball on a golf course, all those things. But looking back now, I realize what a different world it is for me being on the inside of a company that I've created. And we've made these shifts every single year by realizing honestly who we are and where we want to go. So if I'm looking in the mirror today, we're located in Southwestern Ontario. We cover all those markets. I have an amazing team and company that works with me. But I'm also realizing that, if I'm looking at the industry, which is the second step of this, there's a lot of trends happening in real estate right now. There are all kinds of different brokerage models. There's all kinds of different agent models. And there's a lot of agent models where you'll have a person like myself who's in production that wants to move out of production, sell through other people, create maybe reoccurring revenue through those people, and, only spend 16 hours a week actually physically working because that's the dream. It's not my dream, right? And when I look at what the industry needs, in my opinion, I think the industry really needs something that serves the consumer to the highest degree humanly possible. I think most people think about real estate. They don't really think about, well, that agent's really looking out for my interest. They typically think, wow, they get paid a lot of money to sell that houses. They're all pretty much the same. The market's amazing and the property can sell itself. And I don't trust them, right? Those are the three things that when I look at the industry, I'm like, okay, those are the things I need to fix. So the next step I look at is, well, who are the customers I'm trying to serve and who are the competitors in my industry, right? I think sitting down and taking a stock in the actual customers and audience that I want to serve is the most critical thing I need to do first. Speaking yesterday with a friend about business in general, about saying yes to the right people and saying no to the wrong people, and how ultimately that is what's going to help you break through. And if you're watching this video or you come to this channel and you're in a space where maybe you've got some level of production, you're trying to break through and you're really having a hard time getting to that next level, you find yourself just running around being busy for the sake of being busy, but you're not really growing. It's because you haven't sat down and done a true customer analysis of who your avatar is that you love to work with. And I shot a podcast yesterday with Kat Tor, digital and operations expert. And we were talking about this, about how when you find the right people, it is literally effortless. You're going to do the work anyways. I love to say I'm a student of the game, right? I like showing up. I like learning. I like getting better. But when you're doing that with the right customers, it makes all the difference in the world. So find who that customer is. And you can also find that customer that needs to be served that is not being served by your industry. Competitor analysis is another thing I really like to discuss. So when I do my executive summaries, whether I'm coming into the media space or the real estate space, I will literally go on Google. I will look at the city that I'm going to be working in or I'm trying to take over. There's a market that we're actually breaking into right now. And I will Google real estate in such and such a market. I'll look at the top couple names. Now, keep in mind, Google SEO, a lot of paid advertising, take that for what it is. Then I'll start asking, who are the people that do business here? I'll go into my actual MLS system and I'll pull up all of the top sales and I'll look at who the top names are over and over and over. And what I'll do is at the bottom of this slide deck that I have live on YouTube, for those of you on Clubhouse, click the link at the top, go to YouTube, and then you'll be able to actually get this slide deck. I'll email it out to everybody after the segment. I do a SWOT analysis. And I took a real look at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of those competitors. So if I go into a marketplace, let's just say LA, right? I'm not going to LA, so you guys are safe for now. And I look at who the top people are. Well, I'll look at them and say, well, realistically, the strengths are first. They've been here for 20 years. That's a huge strength. What's a weakness? Well, they're not me. They don't have my network. And I'm pretty plugged in with some interesting folks that I know that if I walked into that market, I would come with a certain amount of ability to network and grow my network very, very quickly. The opportunities could potentially be that nobody's done what we've done in the media and the agency space there. And I actually know how to make the sauce. And what are the threats? The threats would be maybe being overconfident going into the market and having somebody really come after my piece of business before I even get started, right? So maybe if I have a capital allocation I've made towards my LA expansion, not paying attention to how people do business there could be a threat to my business, and I could be out of business before I even start. The reason it's important to do a competitor analysis is you have to be honest with yourself about where you're at in the industry and your approach when you're going into a new market. Also, the competitor analysis doesn't have to be a negative thing at all, right? I think some people really get stuck in paralysis by analysis when they're dealing with competitors and they start feeling bad about themselves. I could never be this person. Look at the followers they have. Well, they've already got the network. I could never become successful there. Incorrect. I've used this guy's name so often because he's my mentor, but Ryan Serhant went to New York City, one of the oldest cities on the planet, with some of the oldest relationships and sketchy backroom deals that happen for large developments. I guarantee you so much happens behind closed doors at steakhouses. Ryan was a hand model for Denver, Colorado. You know how he got started? He was going into Starbucks telling pregnant women, well, it looks like you might need more room, and selling them bigger apartments. And he did it over and over and over. And now he actually gets some of the largest developments in New York City. The next step, once you understand your actual ideal customers and your competitors, is you really got to break down a marketing plan, right? Which is going to be comprised of products and services, strategies for pricing, your marketing channels, and strategies for promoting. Biggest mistake new restaurants make. And not many people know this, but I was 10 years in the hospitality industry, cut my teeth. I was a bouncer. I was a DJ. I was a bar back, bartender, manager, and ultimately a marketing coordinator for these restaurants. I see everybody leave, say, restaurants and open up their own and think, well, I know what I'm doing. This is going to be awesome. And they spend $250,000 building it out, and they get super hyped, and then they open the doors and nobody shows up because they didn't tell anybody they were opening. Right. So having an effective marketing plan is important, but also understanding the products and services portion first, probably even more important than telling everybody what you do. So if I went to LA, let's just stick with that for fun, and I looked at the scope. Now in my market of Southwestern Ontario, I do everything agriculture, recreation, investment properties, and new development, all those things, right? If I went to LA, I'd probably start with something very simple, residential resale or condos, or just pick a specific niche so I could tell the world that I do that niche. I would also discuss my pricing strategy. So Prime, my company, is not a discount brokerage by any means. We provide a premium service. So we are looking to be the Nike, the Apple, the Starbucks of the real estate world, but our value proposition is even higher than, say, our cost would be. So if you're a true investor, somebody that really understands business, you're net, you're actually making a lot more money, but you're hiring the best. That's the idea of how we've placed ourselves in the marketplace. And you don't have to do that. You can have a discount model. That's okay too, but you should understand what your pricing model looks like. Marketing channels. So how you're going to be servicing your customers. So real estate is a service-based business. So you're going to be doing it through sales representatives, or you could be doing it digitally. I mean, the metaverse is a real thing, right? Maybe the Primeverse is coming next, where you're doing all of your transactions in the blockchain and online, and you don't even want to see a human being. That's a real thing, but understanding what channels you're actually marketing on is absolutely critical. And then your strategies for promoting. And I like to just keep it very, very simple. Digital, organic, and print are the three that I just like to think top of mind. Digital is what we're doing right now. I'm digitally marketing on Clubhouse. I'm literally on YouTube, and this is going to live in perpetuity, and everybody's going to be able to see this on YouTube and hear of all the different things that I do in real estate, and I'm marketing on a digital platform. Organic is me walking into the coffee shop and developing relationships with those types of people and them understanding what I do. I find out what they do. We build a community together. It could be an organic relationship with a lawyer, a lender, people that are in horizontal or verticals that are similar to my industry that are going to help me grow. And print. A lot of people are chasing digital because it's effective. The celebrity agent and TikTok is a real thing. I'm actually planning some digital or some print marketing campaigns, like old school stuff right now, because I think it's a blue ocean. I think a lot of people are chasing the digital world, and I tend to kind of be a contrarian and go the other way. So I'm still going to do my digital strategy, but be thoughtful about the other channels that are available out there for you. So now the actual execution side of it. So I would say the easiest way for you to execute is take everything we just spoke about and then build a plan. What can you do daily? What can you do weekly, monthly, quarterly, bi-yearly, and yearly to implement the plan that you have? And maybe daily, it's just adding people to your database and picking up the phone. Maybe on a weekly basis, it's stopping into that coffee shop and building relationships with influential people in that neighborhood. Maybe monthly, it's sitting down with your leadership team and, doing a community event. Maybe quarterly, it's doing a charity event. Maybe bi-yearly, it is doing a customer appreciation. And maybe yearly, it's doing a blowout past customer event. I'm just throwing examples at you, but you should actually have some sort of plan for all the different things and the cadence at which you're doing them. And then the real magic comes in when you're doing the review. So here's a super hack for you. And this can be just even if you're trying to get healthy or whatever you're trying to accomplish. I like doing reviews based on the same cadence as the timeline. So daily, I look at my day. Once a day, I typically do a mind sweep and time block, look at my calendar, look at my action plan. What am I trying to accomplish? Once a week, I like to look at, well, what am I doing for the week? Right. So every Saturday, I sit down and I'll do maybe a 30-minute mind sweep for the entire week and plan my next week ahead. Monthly, once a month, typically the first Saturday of the month, I'll sit down and do a monthly review. And then quarterly, I'll do a quarterly review. And then bi-yearly, you get what I'm saying? Yearly, you should do a yearly review. And it makes it effortless again. And you develop a cadence around doing these things where, yes, it's in a document and I'm walking you through it right now, but doing this segment live on Clubhouse and on YouTube made me walk through this again and refine, like, am I actually doing this? How often am I doing this? And is it top of mind? And I'm pumped because it really makes me go back to the well and think about what I'm going to be doing over the next year and the different businesses I have and how I'm going to go about growing them. And am I being thoughtful about growing them? The last piece would really be the budgeting. And you have to establish what you're trying to accomplish first, but you really need to put some things around your core financials. There's so many people smarter than me in this space, but I can tell you, we sell businesses all the time. And the amount of times that we ask people for their financials and they can't provide an income statement, a balance sheet, or cash flow statements blows my mind. When you're a kid, you think adults have it all figured out. And then you grow up and you realize it's the blind leading the blind, both from the political level down to the business level. If you just spend time in your core financials and making sure you have this organized, I can tell you, you're going to be much more equipped for success, and also understanding your revenue and projections and when you can spend money and when you can't. I'm terrible at it. So I married a girl who's amazing at it. So get people around you that love doing the things that you don't like to do, or just marry them. That's what worked out for me. And then at a glance, it'll actually be able to give you an overview of your company, give you an idea of the financial health of your company, and also, if you have growth plans, what those funding requirements might look like, if you even need to take funding, if you even need to give equity. I'm very lean and I really like owning everything with my wife. So we've always tried to grow everything almost from a red light, green light perspective, where we go into new markets and deploy new capital based on needs rather than wants. But I also know that it's probably slowed our growth a little bit. And if we turn around and just threw jet fuel on it, we could grow much quicker. You got to do what's right for you. This is just a framework that works for me. And if you want this slide deck, you can go to justinkonikow.com/resources. I think it's in my Instagram. So if you're live on Clubhouse, you can just click my IG. I always like doing these segments and leaving like 5 to 10 minutes for discussion. Unfortunately, if you're on YouTube, you can't partake because I'm going to be shutting down the stream. We're going to be going live on Clubhouse. What you can do is download the Clubhouse app. Come find me. Come hang with me in Breakfast with Champions. I hope you got some value from this. I'm going to go into the comments and then give some shout outs, but I got to go live on Clubhouse because I got the people waiting. Thank you so much for being here on the live, and